I just got back from VeeCon in Los Angeles, which is an event for influencers and for marketers, people who are passionate about the digital world, essentially, Web3, AI, all this cool stuff that people like me are into. But the whole reason I'm telling you that is because I met somebody on yesterday, the last day that I went. It was really cool because I went to Grand Central Market after the event. I went to get some food and went to a really cool little spot there. I think I had a taco and something else, and I met somebody who was sitting next to me who was visiting from out of town. He wasn't there for the event, but he had a really cool t-shirt on. We started talking about it, about reading and different things, and we ended up building a pretty good connection. And he had a son that was giving him a lot of difficulty, and he was decompressing from being away from him. And so he went to get a bite on his own. His son ordered food at the hotel, and mind you, his son is like 16 years old. They're there having a good time, having a vacation. But one of the things he was angry about, one of the things this guy that I was talking to was angry about, was that his son was just arrogant, disrespectful, and thought that he knew it all. And I know that feeling as well. And what I asked him was, what are questions that you could ask? What are questions that you could ask him that would help him build other references? For example, what is it about that ... Or is that the only way you look at things? So these are two different questions that kind of break the frame of what arrogant people can ask you about, and not only ask you, but sometimes there's no arguing with stupidity because they'll beat you with experience. And so sometimes it's better to just disconnect because, in dealing with teenagers, especially, their brains are still developing. They're between being a child and an adult. And so that's a little bit tricky. But anyway, we had a really good conversation about asking questions and communication strategies. And one of the biggest insights I ever got dealing with my own ignorance was the willingness to appreciate the reminders. And what I mean by that is one of my good friends, Eli Wild, he hosted an event here in Encino, California a few years ago, but this is probably 4 or 5 years ago now. And he invited one of his friends, and his friend opened up the training with, you might have heard this stuff before, but the difference between an amateur or somebody struggling and a master is that the masters appreciate the reminders. And I thought, wow, that is so applicable, because back when I was part of that event, I remember, I've been to so many Tony Robbins seminars, I've been to so many trainings, and sometimes we hear these things over and over and over again, certain concepts that we hear over and over and over again, and it gets very redundant. And sometimes, especially when I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, you know that already. And when you do that, you essentially close your brain. Your brain shuts down from knowing other things. When you think, yeah, I know that, or yeah, I've heard that before, or yeah, whatever, you discard the information. It's an attitude of mind. And the reason I'm telling you that is because what he said, and I'll tag him in this as well so you can see who he is. The reason I'm telling you that is because masters at the highest level appreciate the reminders. When I got that download and programmed it to the way I operate, essentially it helped me just want to learn more. And I got even hungrier to learn even more information about my craft. And so that's something I've carried with me since that day. So that was a pivotal moment for me. And so the whole point of asking these questions to somebody who's ignorant and arrogant is to break their frame of mind. And you can easily break someone's frame of mind by asking questions. And obviously you have to pick and choose the battles that you're going to go to with teenagers and kids, but essentially that's the insight. The big takeaway, which you probably already know, is, you can break people's frame of mind by asking questions. That's one of the biggest things I've learned from Eli as well. And anyway, shout out to Eli. Shout out to people who have kids and dealing with idiot teenagers.